Today's notes will be on surface area of prisms. Now we've already learned about surface area of a prism, but that was using just the net or finding the area of each piece. We're now going to find surface area of prisms using a formula off the 8th grade reference material. Please feel free to pause your video at any time to write down information. So if we needed to wrap a gift in the shape of a prism, we'd want to know how much paper we would need. Luckily, our star reference material can help us out. As we look at the chart, there is a line under surface area for prism. There's a column labeled lateral and a column labeled total. We will experience both of these examples today. But what in the world does S equals pH and S equals pH plus 2b mean? The S stands for surface area in both equations. The P stands for perimeter of the base for both equations. H is the height of the prism. And for our second formula, it says 2b. 2 is because there's two bases, and b means area of the base. So let's look at this a little bit further. S is equal to pH. For lateral surface area, P is the perimeter of the base times your height of the prism. If you recall, the perimeter of the base would be 2 lengths or 2 widths, plus 2 widths. So 2L plus 2W times the height of the prism. Let's go to your surface area of solids foldable and fill in some examples. For a rectangular prism, the lateral surface area is pH. Please fill in your foldable now. P is the perimeter of the base. H is your height. The perimeter would be 2 times 8 plus 2 times 2. Your base is here. In this picture, it's your shaded region at the bottom. So 8 plus 8 is 16. 2 plus 2 is 4. And 16 plus 4 is 20. The height of the prism, or the distance between the two bases, is the 3 here. So we have our times 3. 20 times 3 is 60. We are talking about area. Even though it is a three-dimensional figure, we're talking about surface area. So our surface area is 60 feet squared. As we explore total surface area of a rectangular prism, we have to go a little bit further. As you can see, the pH is still the same. So P is the perimeter of the base, H is the height of the prism, but we have to add the two bases. Lateral was just the sides of your prism. Total surface area is the 4 sides plus the 2 bases. So we're still going to find the perimeter of the base using 2L plus 2W. We're still going to multiply it by the height of the prism. We're going to add that answer to the area of the base times 2. The area of the base is times 2 because there's 2 bases, both a top and a bottom. Again, let's refer back to your foldable. Total surface area of a prism. As we fill in the first row, our formula is pH plus 2b. The P is the perimeter of the base, H is the height, 2, and then the area of the base, which is the capital B. Again, there's 2 bases because there's both a bottom and a top that are the same size. We find the perimeter of the base the same way we did in the lateral surface area. So the 20 times 3 we have already done. The area of the base is 16 times 2, or 8 times 2, which is 16. 20 times 2 is 60, and 2 times 16 is 32. So the area of the 4 lateral faces is 60, plus the area of the 2 bases, which is 32. When you combine those together, you get a total surface area of 93 feet squared. Again, we're talking about area, so we want to make sure we're using units of measurement squared. We're now going to explore lateral surface area with a triangular prism. This formula is the same formula, S equals pH, because we're still talking about a prism. even though we're talking about a triangular prism. P still stands for perimeter of the base, and H still stands for the height of the prism. Perimeter of a triangle is side plus side plus side. Depending on the type of triangle, all three sides might be the same, two sides might be the same, or the three sides might be different. But in any case, you're going to add the three sides of the base and multiply it by how tall the prism is. Let's refer to your foldable. Lateral surface area of a triangular prism, pH. P is the perimeter of your base, H is the height of the prism. For this triangle, we have 8 and 6, which are the base and height of our triangle, and we can see that up here at the top it shows us this is a right triangle, so we know that the 10 is actually the hypotenuse. 6 plus 8 plus 10 are the three sides of the triangle. They are the three sides, or the three pieces, that make up the triangle at the bottom and top. Even though they're labeled on different triangles, they're still all part of the same triangle. And the height is 15. The height of the prism is the distance between the two bases. The sum of the sides is 24, and this 48 should only be a 15. Alright, so we've got the perimeter of our base, which is 24 times a height of 15, and 24 times 15 is 360 inches squared. So if we needed the the lateral surface area of our triangular prism, it would be 360 inches squared. Now let's go on to total surface area of a triangular prism. We still see the lateral surface area plus 2b, which is the area of two bases. When we find area of a triangle, it's 1/2 base times height, and then we have to multiply it by 2 because there are two bases. As we go back to our foldable, we're going to fill in again each row. P is perimeter of your base, H is the height of the prism, the capital B is the area of the base, times 2. We've got 24 times 15 plus 2 times 24. So here we have 360 plus 48. One base is 24, two bases is 48. When we add them together, we get 408 inches squared. Now let's take a few minutes to calculate some practice problems. The base has been shaded green for you in this question. Use your composition book or a scratch sheet of paper to practice this problem. Pause the video, and when you are done, press play, and we will check the problem together. As we look at our prism, we are looking for the lateral surface area. So I wrote S is equal to pH. The perimeter of my base is 4 plus 10 plus 4 plus 10. However you choose to add was fine, as long as you came up with the answer of 28. The height of the prism is 17, so we take 28 times 17 and get 476 centimeters squared. Please bring questions for this problem tomorrow if you have any. Here's our next question. Again, we want the lateral surface area of the prism below. This is a triangular prism. The formula does not change for lateral surface area just because the base is a triangle. Again, pause your video. When we want to find the perimeter of this base, we're going to use the numbers 4.5, 9, and 7 2/10. Those three numbers added together will be the perimeter of the base. The 4 inches we are not going to use this time because we are only looking for lateral surface area. If we were looking for total surface area, then we would need to use the 4. The height of my prism is 8 1/10. As I find the perimeter of the base, I get 20 7/10 times 8 1/10. And when I multiply those two numbers together, I get 167 67 hundredths. pause your video to calculate the total surface area of this problem. Please notice you are doing total surface area. This is a prism. Make sure that you are using the correct base and height when you go to find the area of the base. The perimeter of my base will be 2 plus 1.5 plus 2.5. The height of my prism is 10. In order to find the area of the base, I'm going to use the two sides, or in this case, two legs of the triangle that make a 90-degree angle. The perimeter of my base is 6. The height of the prism is 10. The height and base of the triangle are 1.5 and 2. When I multiply those together, I get 1.5. Since there are two triangles, I multiply that by 2 to get 3. Add them together and get 63. Now at this point, some of you may notice a little shortcut you can take here. You notice a pattern that's happening when you're multiplying a number by a half and then you multiply that number by 2. If you notice that, please go ahead and use that to your advantage. Otherwise, just take half and then multiply by 2. Last question, please pause your video to calculate the area, the total surface area of the prism below. The perimeter of your base is 10. The height of the prism is 6. You add that to the area of two bases, so you have 60 plus 12, and your total surface area should be 72 centimeters squared. But wait, there's more. Please bring your notes with you to class, and we will do more practice together.